so what's up, y'all? It's the Expert Bowler. I want to just talk a little bit about the season beginning, the season starting, some of the things you might need to do when you first go out to practice before you hit the lanes for your league night, right? So you might not have bowled in a while just because, you know, COVID's going on. Maybe you've been in the house. One of the first things you need to do is check your fit. So after you don't bowl for a little while, your balls typically won't fit the same. Your hand will shrink a little bit. So, you know, check your equipment, see how it feels. Those holes will probably be a little bigger than they used to be. So let's get some bowling tape, right? So that's one of the first things we should do. Get some bowling tape. Make sure you get some bowling tape, put it in your ball. This is why I would take my bowler's tape. I usually use the back side of the tape, right? The backing that it comes on to put it in the hole. So I don't need to have any of those special tools or any of that stuff. And I'll take it, I'll flip it around, whether I want to put it in the front or the back, which usually I put it in the back. Then I would take it and I would put it in there. I wiggle the tape backing out, and then boom. Now that hole fits tight and good like I want it to. Piece of bowling tape probably help you out. Make you feel a little bit better about your fit. Give you a little more control. Make you not stress or strain your muscles as much. That's real important, especially when you're just coming back. The second thing I'll probably recommend that you do is I would recommend that you stretch. Stretching is probably one of the most important things to prevent injury. So I'll stretch before I leave the house. I'll also stretch before I hit the lanes. So I would suggest that you make sure, number one, check your fit. Number two, do some stretches, all right? So we'll take a little break real quick. We'll get our equipment set up. We'll put some tape in it, make it feel good. Then we'll kind of go through how we warm up as we start bowling. All right, so one of the next things we do after we checked our equipment, we did some stretches, is I like to check the approach before I start bowling. You just never know if you stepped in something kind of coming in, or somebody spilled something, or if the approach just needs a little maintenance because it hasn't been taken care of greatly. You always got to just make sure you check the approach. So the way I do that is I'll kind of go up and I'll just take some test slides, right? So I'll kind of get up there and I'll take some test slides in the corners to kind of see how things are. I'll check the middle out a few times. And I think that I can slide well and everything will be good. So I kind of take some test slides and see how that's going, just to make sure I'm not going to injure myself when I throw those first shots, right? So we kind of did a little quick stretch, a little quick warm up. We'll kind of take some first shots. My first shots are never, ever, ever, ever full speed. It's kind of like 30%. I kind of just go up there, take a few steps, take a abbreviated backswing, and then I'll let her loose. All right, so as you can see, we kind of took a quick little shot, kind of about 30%, just to kind of get things checked out and kind of loosen up the old bones, you know. But I think it does two things, right? It kind of lets us know what's on the lane, right? Because we didn't take a full shot, but our ball kind of just cruised easily down the lane. So that let us know that at least there's some oil in the middle part of the lane, which is good, right? That kind of lets us know that, you know, it could be something playable out, something that's, you know, not gonna make us do too much work. But that's really important, you know, to take your first couple shots slow and easy and just kind of get a feel for what's going on. All right, so that's a good sign. Kind of threw a little shot there and kind of moved to the right a little bit, and it kind of got down the lane, and I could see kind of where the friction was. It made a good move. So that's promising. I really think that, you know, that allows me to understand that there is some friction, there is some oil. So it'll be a decent practice session. I'm not going to be wasting my time, even though, I mean, getting reps in on anything kind of helps, but I won't be wasting my time bowling when it's the absolute burn and I got to throw my spare ball, which has happened before. So Let's just kind of see what's going on. Oh, okay. That was a plastic ball. That's concerning. And I'll tell you, even when I practice, I still go through my pre-shot routine. So, let me see. So I still wipe my ball off every time. I use the big fluffy pad by CTD, which I write my name on so that it doesn't get lost. But I still wipe my ball off and I still do my pre-shot routine. All right, so like I said, we just kind of take it easy and throw some shots and kind of see what's going on. I'll tell you, like, I know a lot of people, right, they'll go out and they'll buy a ton of new equipment for the new season, which is fine, it's cool, it's all good. Get you some new equipment, get ready to, you know, go light them up on the lanes. But I never, ever, ever start off with like my newest equipment that I just drilled. I always usually start off with a ball that's like Old Faithful. Something that I've had, that I bowled a lot with, that I'm familiar with, that I know fits good and it's gonna feel good. You don't want no injuries at the beginning of the season. It'll kind of, it'll suck, But let's go, let's get some shots in. All right, so I've bowled a few frames, 5 or 6 frames, 5 frames. So I'm still not 100% warmed up, right? But I can increase my speed a little bit and kind of really see where I could play on the lane. I know we had a little bit of an indication where we could play because of the shots that we threw at 30-40%. So now we're probably like 60-70%. So we're like 2/3 of the way there. You know, we still do our pre-shot routine. We get our ball, we wipe it off. We won't really like line up, but we'll kind of get roughly lined up. Have a rough target just to kind of see what happens, and we'll make a shot at about 2/3 and the other effort and see what happens. Quite a bit of friction when you keep it in, it looks like. I wonder what happens if I kind of throw it away from the pocket a little more. I usually throw it pretty firm, like 17, 18-ish. These shots are like 15 miles an hour, barely peaking 16 miles an hour. So this is like 70% for me. By the time usually I'm to like my A frame or so, I'm pretty much warmed up and ready to rock and roll and ready to throw full shots. So we only at the 7th frame, but we're basically there. So I'll inch a little more right, try to see if I can get away from that middle part of the lane. Seems like it's just a lot of friction overall. There is oil on the lane, but it could be the pattern. The pattern might just be kind of short. It might be a bit of volume. If you throw it away, it seems like your ball pushes pretty good, unless it's in the middle. So that just might be something that requires a little more finesse, a slower ball speed, and kind of throw it away from the pocket, allow the ball to take what we got. I probably could ball down to something less aggressive. I only bought 2 balls in my spare ball just because it's practice, but this ball I'm throwing one of my favorite balls, a Vapor Zone Hybrid. It is mildly aggressive. It's not any surface on this like lane shine, so it's probably like 4,000 grit finish right now, but it is an aggressive ball. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? I threw it away from the pocket a little more and it kind of labored to come back around. So that would have been like a washout. All right, so there are some things that I see people do that I typically don't do, but you know, to each his own. So I typically won't throw my spare ball much while I'm warming up, just because I typically throw it hard and straight at my spares for the most part anyway. If I'm not loose and I'm not comfortable, I'm using a plastic ball. So if you want to know what I'm throwing, I got my CTD Creating a Difference spare ball, my plastic ball. And that's what I primarily will shoot at, like my single pins in the corners, the 6, the 10, the 4, the 7. I don't traditionally throw it at like the 2 or the 3 pin. I'll shoot like the 3, 6, 10. I'll throw it, stuff like that. But traditionally, multi-pin spares, especially at league or on the house shot, I'll throw my strike ball. Well, even when they're harder, a lot of times I'll throw my strike shot at certain spares like the 2-8 or even the 4 pin, just kind of depend on what we bowling on and what the margin for error is. But I don't typically throw my spare ball much. I'll usually use my strike ball just so I can get those reps in, get warmed up, see what the pattern's got, and just maximize every shot that I throw while I'm getting loose. Like I said, I noticed one thing, that there's quite a bit of friction. I'm probably not throwing the right ball. I'm sure we could probably make this work. We could maybe bag our hand out of it a little bit or kind of find an angle that allows it to be playable for us. All right, so that was a little closer to full speed. I left the 210. That was a bit closer to a normal shot for me. I did bag my hand out of it a little bit just to kind of see if we could get the ball down the lane, which it was better, it was better. So this would be like one of my first times really throwing my spare ball. I'm still not 100%, but I think we kind of had a good place to start right there where I just threw that shot where I 210. At least that let me know it's some hook. My ball did come back even though I got it pretty far to the right. I think if I would have thrown that normal with full revs and everything, that probably would have hit the face. So let's just kind of start there and see what happens. I'm 9 frames in. I'll take a full approach. Yeah, like I thought it would hit the face. I got to bag down out of it just a little bit. Ball's a little too strong for the pattern. It's not the textbook way, but it works. We'll keep that angle kind of the same, but try to use a little bit more of the lane. That looks good. All right. That looks a lot better right there. Use angle to get the ball to push. It's a lot of friction, so I really don't have to hit it. Let the ball do the work. We can just hit our target and make some good shots. I think we'll be all right. So that was our first game. So really, I just started taking my full approach, just got warmed up. That last shot was a strike. I'm lined up. And that's usually how like my first game goes in practice. Then I like try to continue making good shots, continue repeating, see the transition, see what's happening with the lanes. Let's go, let's see what I shoot. We'll try to make some shots and repeat here. See what we shoot. Maybe I should move it over some more so y'all can see. Let me move it a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. Oh, that's a little left. I do feel like I would have a little more margin for error if I switch balls. That ball's a little too aggressive. But I think that's good because it's a challenge. And really, when you practice, that's what you should do. You should challenge yourself. To be able to repeat, to make shots, to get the best result you can get every time. And that's typically what I do if and when I practice. That's better. I think it's important too to know your game, right? So I'm starting off at 16. I drift about 10 left. So I should be about 25 when I get to the line when I slide. I'm looking at 14 because I want to project the ball pretty good to the right, and that's at the arrows. So just inside of the third arrow. So those are two pretty good shots right there. A lot of it is feel though. You gotta kind of have a feel for it. Like I can feel my body's heating up and my thumb swelling a little bit. So that's changing the way my ball feels in my hand a bit. My thumb holes getting a little tighter. It's taking a little bit of effort to really focus on keeping enough grip pressure where I can have a consistent feel. The ball's not moving in my hand, but not gripping it too much and not gripping it enough. So it's taking a bit of work, but at some point I'll need to probably remove this piece of tape because I'll hang. But for right now, I would say this is like right at the cusp of comfortable and uncomfortable. Just right on the line. I missed that one a little. Off my hand. See, and that's just grip pressure, right? So that's just, oh man. Trying not to really squeeze it because it feels a little tight on my hand. Just kind of missed it a little at the bottom. But those are the things, right? So say I would have been lined up, throwing the right ball, and everything been going well. I probably would have got away with that, right? So I missed it a little. My ball probably would have did the right thing, and I probably would have struck. Probably would have had like a light strike, or I'd have left a 10 pin. So it wouldn't have been that bad. I mean, I left a 2 pin, but honestly, when you miss it a little like that, that's not the leave I want to see. I want to see like my ball hit the pocket. And if anything, I want to leave a 10 pin. 10 pin's a little harder than a 2 pin, but at least I know the end. I'm lined up, I got the right ball in my hand, and I got a lot of margin for missing, a lot of area. You gotta just challenge yourself. Use the wrong ball, stand in the wrong place, figure out how to make it work. That's what it's about. Taking this time to get better, to grow. See? Now I gripped it a little and I had too much on it right there. No, it's a little light. I left a washout. I know that my ball will cross over if I just straighten the angle up. I'll just take like 2 right with my feet, keep my target about the same, straighten my angle up, and hopefully we can make this using our strike ball. Oh, come on. Oh, it was left. I was probably just not being aligned right out the gate. The shot felt good, just was a little left. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't really focused well on that shot. That was terrible. But yeah, do something that you're not comfortable with. Make it feel a little uncomfortable. Do something that's uncomfortable. You might make a mistake. Leave something non-traditional like that washout I just left. You don't leave those spares every day. You're not gonna leave them every day, but you can make them every day. And that's the thing. So make sure, get out, get you some practice, get in better shape for league, check your fit, do some stretches and some warm-ups. Don't rush out there trying to throw it 100 miles an hour your first shot. Kind of warm up into it. For our last game, we'll make a little ball change. So my first game was practice, just kind of getting warmed up, getting my balls to fit right, feeling comfortable, you know, with the approach and everything. So then now I think my second game, the ball I started out with was a little too strong, a little too aggressive, right? So for those people who don't have 5 or 10 balls in their arsenal, they only got maybe 3 balls, a spare ball and a ball that's kind of aggressive and a ball that's a little weaker. You know, let's throw the ball that's a little weaker. Let's see what that looks like actually on the lane. And let's see if that matches up a little bit better to the pattern out here. Since our stronger ball, which was my Vapor Zone hybrid, was a little bit too strong for the pattern today. This Tenacity Grit is a good benchmark ball for me. It's a good ball I could throw kind of anywhere. I've bowled 300 with this ball all across the country. But we'll try it from the same spot that I was in throwing my Vapor Zone hybrid. Oh, that ball actually responded to the pattern a little better. I actually went a little high, but that's okay. Our ball reaction was much better. I feel like the ball lost less energy and probably read the pattern a little better. Maybe that's telling us we can move one more left. Lumberjack, that boy's a lumberjack. Y'all see that? Logs, logs, logs. You see how I'm saying, like, when you got a ball that matches up better? Like, those weren't perfect strikes. All the strikes I threw with my Vapor Zone were like perfect, in the pocket, knocking them down the old-fashioned way. Now I'm getting some breaks. It's a half pocket hit right there. Just with a little power for the messenger on the 10. Come on. Oh, one more time. Now let's go. Now some people won't like that, right? They'll be like, hey, that's luck. Your ball's hitting terrible. It's half pocket. Your ball's hitting terrible. It's 100% luck. That's not supposed to strike. Well, what I tell you is, look at that scoreboard. That's a strike. And as long as I can keep doing that until I 10 pin, I'll make that adjustment when I get there. Because sometimes hitting like that in the house on that particular lane or that pair is what's going to give you strikes. Hitting them half flush and hard might only leave you with 9s. Sometimes you got to take what you could get, right? So let's see if we could take what we could get and if we could get a few more strikes. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Bad rack and all. And see, that's why you stay there. Sometimes the ball changes. Having the right ball in your hand makes all the difference. Now we got the right ball in our hand. We rocking and rolling, destroying the rack. Oh, I hung in that one. If I was in the competition, I probably would have took the tape out. It's definitely gonna make me hit it a little more. That'll hook. So look, now I got a little area. I missed left right there. A little firm, a little left, natural miss. 10 back. I probably should have shot 300 right here if I would have took that tape out. Knowing and understanding your equipment is key. Somewhere you can bowl on whatever, right? I bought one bag out today. Spare ball a little stronger than dead medium, ball a little weaker than dead medium for me in my bag, and one of the two is basically bound to work. They hooked a little more than I thought they would be. Ball down from the stronger ball to the weaker ball. Had a chance to shoot 300 this game. You don't have to throw it perfect. The result's perfect. We matched up. All right, so you see what the score says, right? And we threw a few strikes here. 1 or 2. Look at that. That's how you practice. We bowled 3 games. 3 games of practice. I think 3 good games. Kind of show you a little bit about how we start, what we do in the beginning when we first kind of make it to the bowling alley, and a little bit before we get here. Talked about that. To what our first game looks like, how we warm up safely so we don't injure ourselves, right? Then second game, kind of challenging ourselves, right? And then third game, making that necessary adjustment. Do what you feel you need to do to be able to match up better to the pattern. to be able to maximize your score. I didn't throw it perfect every time. You don't have to. Make the best shot you could throw, match up your balls correctly, and you can strike like the expert bowler, baby. Let's take a look at that score one more time. You can see all of the scores that I bowled. 140, right? My first game just getting warmed up. Not really trying hard, just kind of getting the ball down the lane. To my second game, shooting 203, right? With the wrong ball, kind of playing where I could to be able to try to force myself to repeat and make some decent shots. To game 3, right? Bowling for score, all out, seeing what's going on. Take one more look at that last game I bowled. So as you can see, all right, ball change. I had a little hiccup because it's a little hot. Rapid fire throwing those shots, it got a little tight in my thumb. I hung a little bit, took the tape out, made the correction. Boom, 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 sheet, 260. You can do it too. You know what it is, man. I'm an expert bowler. This is expert bowler game, man. If you want to bowl, you want to get better, man, you know what to do. Check out some of my little practice tips. They help you out a little bit. If they helped you out, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Expert bowler, man. I'm out.